The twins were born 10 weeks premature, and it was very scary, and they spent the first 2.5 months of their lives in the NICU. They did very well in the NICU, but it's scary to see your baby hooked up to tubes and wires, and we weren't able to hold them the first few days of their lives, and we could only touch them and look at them. We spent most of their first year doing typical things that are expected from premature babies. Everything was a little bit behind developmentally, but we weren't super concerned that first year. It was right around when they turned 1 that we started to notice that their development was not where we would expect it to be. And we were really terrified because we had these 2 beautiful little babies that I knew something wasn't right.
And that has to be tough because you're already thinking, okay, they made it through the NICU. You know, they're good, you know, they were premature and they're doing okay. And then what were some of the warning signs?
They were just not sitting and rolling and standing. I have an older child, and we knew what was supposed to happen. They weren't saying their first words, and they weren't calling me mama or dada, and they were having a really hard time. When they were about 1.5 years old, they started having seizures. And at that point, it pushed everything into overdrive, and we wanted to find out what was going on because we knew there were so many red flags. The twins were diagnosed with multiple medical conditions, a chromosomal abnormality, autism spectrum disorder, all of these things put together. I was so overwhelmed. It is the most heartbreaking news in the whole entire world when you find out that there's something you can't fix. And no matter what I do, I can never fix chromosomes. That day, we drove home from Children's Hospital in Boston, my husband and I cried the entire way because I had these beautiful boys that I had huge dreams for. And in an instant, the world came crashing down.
So how did you find out about Meeting Street?
When the boys aged out of early intervention at 3, we were referred to Meeting Street. So I immediately called. We heard wonderful things. Every good thing I heard was absolutely true.
It's kind of the first moment that you kind of got that sigh of relief, that feeling this is going to work.
And after just a few visits, the boys were happy to come here. When we came in the building, they would relax because it was a place that they felt comfortable. So it was really quite quickly that I realized that, oh, they feel comfortable here. They like coming here. And after that, we started seeing more progress.
Brennan and Brody came to occupational therapy here at Meeting Street originally because their sensory systems were just overwhelmed. We worked very hard with Mom and Dad, and Big Brother too was all a part of it, and they have a great support system, and they've made incredible progress. We measure our successes differently here at Meeting Street, and we've seen so many successes with Brennan and Brody.
Now, for those who don't understand, they are diagnosed on the autism spectrum. How severe is their case of it? I mean, because this all sounds like something a normal parent would take for granted, being able to have their kid brush their teeth or being able to sit still in a car.
Brennan and Brody have been diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder, but in addition, they have a seizure disorder. So there are medical issues as well as neurological impairments.
Where would they be without Meeting Street?
I love this place with my heart and soul, and we are all family here. And I think that we have become an extension of Allison and Jason's family. It would be very difficult for Allison and Jason to be able to do the things that, you know, every family does. There'd be a lot of behaviors that would ensue, and there'd be a lot of difficulties getting them from one place to the other. We've worked on those issues with Brennan and Brody a lot, and I think that, you know, we've made some significant gains together.
They have also developed a lot of language that they didn't have before. They call me Mom or Mama for the first time this year in 2013. They call. I never thought I'd hear those words. So when I heard them, they know who I am and they can get me. That was huge. So the sounds that they're making and the words, they say no now and they say it well. But that was something that was so important to me because as they go out in the world, I want them to be able to tell people no. I want them to have opinions, and they've gained a lot of independence. And that's something that we really wanted for them. So whether it's washing their hands or being able to say no or putting a piece of food in their own mouth. Those are all huge skills that they've accomplished here. They love life. And I think that all along my goal for them is to make sure they have the most spectacular life they possibly can. The sky is the limit. And Meeting Street has jumped on board with that. They have encouraged and supported that goal that we have for the boys, that they will have a spectacular life. We might have to do it differently, but they've helped us help them, give them better skills so that the twins can really live their lives and be a functional member of the community and of our family, and I have no doubt that they'll continue to do that. They change lives. There is not a single service, a single physician, any other part of the boy's life that I can think of that has made such a tremendous difference. And it is a team here. So when you support Meeting Street, you're supporting a team. And all of the individuals, from the person that greets you at the front door to the therapists that work with your children, everybody cares.